over here at HTM Sports. How's everybody doing this fine Saturday afternoon, man? Hope everybody enjoying themselves, enjoying the weekend. And I don't know about y'all, but it's some good weather down here, man. So I hope y'all enjoying that as well. So as you can tell, the combine is going on right now. So today the quarterbacks, the wide receivers, and the tight ends are going to be participating in the NFL combine. As you already know, I'm not a huge fan of the NFL combine by any means, but a lot of y'all are. I will give my opinion on it. Some of these results that's going on, we'll give my opinion on it, and we'll go from there. So we'll do that. We'll talk a little bit more in depth about the comments that were made by Jerry Jones yesterday, and that's just how we're gonna rock today, man. That's just how we're gonna rock. Hey, Matt Batten, how are you today, kinfolk? T Smooth, what's up with you, man? I appreciate y'all for tapping in with me. So, everybody, please go ahead, hit the like button, hit the share button. Everybody that's just now coming in. If you have not subscribed to the channel already, please go ahead, hit the subscribe button. We're trying to grow the channel. Right now, we're at 522 subscribers. We're trying to get that up to 1,000. Trying to get to 1,000 subscribers so the page can be monetized, so I can continue to improve on the quality of the show and give y'all more quality Cowboys content. Also, if you have it in your heart to do, I have put the cash up at the top of the chat box. So if you have anything on your heart to give, donations can be sent to Henny the Moore on Cash App. So with that out the way, let's jump right into it, man. So I'm sad today. Can't believe Jerry Jones blamed Dak for everything. So all right. So but since that's the first comment, since this is the first comment, that's what we'll talk about first, right? We'll talk about that first. Let's see. So Jerry Jones stated, with the contract that Dak Prescott had, it would be hard for them to put a team around him, right? That is the claim of Jerry Jones. I want y'all to look at that. I don't know if y'all can see that very well or not, right? But I want y'all to take a good look at the names on this list. Might be a little bit too small, but don't worry, I will read it to you. These are the guys that Jerry Jones went out and got a free agency from 2016, up to now. So this is just since Dak Prescott has been the starting quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, right? So these are the free agent signings that the Dallas Cowboys have had: Alfred Morris, Benson Moyawa, Nolan Carroll, Stephen Paya, Coney Ely, Cedric Thornton, George Iloka, Randall Cobb, Kerry Hyder, Tavon Austin, Jamie Alawale, Jonathan Cooper, Everson Griffin, Andy Dalton, Daryl Worley, Alden Smith, Dontarie Poe, HaHa Clinton Dix, Jaron Curse, DeMonte Casey, Malik Hooker, Brent Urban, Carlos Watkins, Keanu Neal, and Terrell Basham. Those are the free agents that Jerry Jones, has signed in the last 7 years. And when you look at the names, there is not one star player that he went out his way and signed, right? So you cannot use Dak Prescott's contract as the reason that you were not building teams, because Dak Prescott was making $500,000 a year. At one point he was making $600,000 get the cap. On his rookie deal, the most Dak Prescott ever made in a single season against the cap was $2 million. He was playing on a rookie 4th-year deal, right? And listen, it's not even Marshalls, right? It's not even Marshalls. These are guys that they went to the Salvation Army to get. These are Salvation Army players. And I know that Jaron Curse actually worked out. I know for the most part Malik Hooker has been resurgent, right? So there's like one or two guys that actually contributed to what we were trying to do. But like in the grand scheme of things, like the Dallas Cowboys have not put together a competent roster around Dak Prescott, and it has nothing to do with his cap hit. Because even when Dak Prescott signed this new deal, Cap hit was $17 million the first year. Cap hit was $19 million the next year. Right? You can't say that is holding you back. Right? You got quarterbacks that have been counting for over $30 million against the cap, and their GM is still putting couple of rosters around them. Right? And Dak Prescott is not even a top 5 paid quarterback. Like Dak Prescott is like the ninth highest paid quarterback in the NFL right now. Now his cap hit is going to be high this year coming up, but that is still an excuse because all you have to do to alleviate the cap hit is just to give that Prescott an extension. If you give that Prescott an extension, you clear, you make about $22 million in cap space just by giving him an extension. That one roster move. Right. So you can't sit here and put the blame on Dak Prescott or his contract, especially because you could have signed Dak Prescott for much cheaper, but you waited and you bid it against yourself. That's what the front office did. Dak Prescott was eligible for an extension in the 2019 season because year 3, after a player plays 3 years, they're eligible to get a contract extension. Right. So 2019, Dak Prescott was eligible for a contract extension. They made him play out, the last of his rookie deal. 2020, he was still, he was going to be a free agent. You did not work out a contract with him, so you put the franchise tag on him, right? So that's 2 years that the Dallas Cowboys wasted bidding against themselves because they wanted Dak Prescott to take a below market value contract, and Dak Prescott was too productive to do that. It would have been stupid to do. He had 2 playoff appearances. He had a playoff win. He had a winning record. So he had 2 Pro Bowl selections. There was nothing to talk about. Dak Prescott had earned his money at that point, right? So Jerry Jones made the mistake because remember, if Dak Prescott had been extended in 2019, he would have only been making about $30 million a year, right? He would only been making about $30 million a year, and you would have been able to to maneuver a little bit differently. But even with that, right, even beside the fact that they let the market, go up by $10 million, right, they still, even when he was playing for next to nothing, they still didn't put no quality talent around him. If anything, they tried to go cheap everywhere. You already had Dak Prescott on a rookie deal. So theoretically, like every other team you see, you could have put, some star players around him. They did not. I want people to think back to the 2018 season. Like, yes, we did make the playoffs. Yes, we did win a playoff game. And yes, we did eventually acquire Amari Cooper. But to start that season, Jerry Jones sent Dak Prescott out there with Michael Gallup, who was a rookie, who was a 3rd round pick rookie, right, who did not even play at a big college. Allen Hurns, who was not a top 30 receiver at any point in his career. He had 1,000-yard season, right, in his entire career. And Deontay Thompson, who who was out the NFL the moment the Dallas Cowboys cut him. And of course, my guy Cole Beasley, right? So that was the wide receiving core that they sent Dak Prescott out there with, and they expected him to be competitive with, right? So they mishandled the roster. They're the ones that did that, right? Because they try to cut corners everywhere. You already had Dak Prescott playing for peanuts. You were getting Pro Bowl level production from a quarterback that was only making $500,000 a year annually, right? His cap is like $500K. But instead of loading up the roster with some supreme weapons, you went to the garbage pail. You went dumpster diving. You went and got players at skill positions that nobody in the entire NFL wanted, and that is on Jerry Jones. That is not a Dak Prescott problem. They mismanaged the roster all the time, and then they expect the players to fall on the sword. So no, we're not going to give Jerry Jones a pass because his track record says that he is not good at team building. Hey, Double R, you can't super chat me because I'm not monetized yet. If you want to send money to the cause, you have to send me you have to send a donation to Henny DeMore on Cash App. But I am not monetized on this page. I have not gotten up to 1,000 subscribers. That's why I end up sending the Cash App. Hey, Stephen White, what's up with you? But if you have Cash App, I can receive donations to the Cash App. Stephen White, I appreciate you for tapping in. But yeah, and he said, I feel bad for Dak. Can't watch Combine today. Jerry got me so mad today. Yeah, yeah. He upset a lot of us, man. He did. Like Jerry Jones' comments were uncalled for. Those comments anyway. He made some other interesting comments that I do agree with. He did say a couple things that I like to hear. You know, they did say they want to invest in Dak Prescott long term. They see him as the long term future at quarterback. So you know that is what you want to hear. Hopefully, they can get an extension done so they can alleviate the cap hit. But you know, that is something good that I heard. And you know, this is something. And you know, the 40 times, right? The 40 times are actually going to cost some of these guys money, especially these wide receivers. It should not, because you have enough production from them in college, you have enough tape. But you know, like there are guys that are falling right now because they're 40 times, right? So Jordan Addison is a guy who was considered one of the top wide receivers in this draft. He only ran a 4.55. But if you look at his tape and you turn on his tape, he's explosive, right? He's an explosive receiver in and out of his break. He's a good route runner, all these different things. But you know, because of his 40 time, there are going to be some people that are going to be hesitant of taking him, right? There are even guys. Yeah, there are even guys, man, that like Jalen Hyatt, like they expected him to run a 4.3. There are people that are down on Jalen Hyatt right now because he only ran a 4.41. That is still a great 40 time, right? He's still fast, but you know, they had this expectation, and because he did not meet that expectation, there are some guys that are gonna drop him. So you know, you don't really make money at the combine unless you're one of the guys that are barely on the verge of getting drafted. Like if you're a guy from a very small school and you go and blow the combine out of the water, then you know you might be able to make yourself some money. But you know, but these guys that are already supposed to be high value draft picks, they earn nothing by doing the 40s, by doing these 40s and doing these combines, right? Because you know it allows these analysts to overanalyze the situation, right? You know they overthink it. So I don't necessarily think this it's a great thing for these guys to have the combine. It doesn't make them any money. So let's see. Jerry sabotaged Dak. Jerry always sabotaged Dak, man. And you know what? What's crazy about it is I think that Jerry Jones, in his heart of hearts, might actually believe that he's trying to do the right thing. But you know, don't laugh, fellas. I'm old. What is Cash App? Oh, Cash App is an app. I'll show you. All right. So Cash App is an app that you download on your phone. It allows you to send money. It looks like this. So yeah, you just download it on your phone, and you type in the person's tag with the dollar sign. You put the dollar sign that person's tag, and then you're able to send money to them. Hey, Auntie Charlene, how you doing? I appreciate you for tapping in with us. I appreciate you for coming over. So yeah, we were just talking about Jerry Jones. We'll just talk about Jerry Jones comments, and we'll talk about a little bit about the combine. And if you're late getting in, I had a picture up earlier about the guys that we actually went out in free agency and added over the last 7 years. There was no superstars, right? There was no guys of any note. We did not have an AJ Brown signing. We did not sign anybody like a Bobby Wagner. We did not sign anybody. We signed nobody. We signed nobody of any note. DP Johnson, what's up with you, man? I appreciate you tapping in with me. JC Cowboy Network, what's up with you? Thank you for tapping in over here. Okay. Okay. On my way. Look at double R going mainstream. I know that's right, Ken folk. Yeah, man. Hey, don't feel bad. I just now learned how to use Zelle, man. I just now learned how to use Zelle. So it's a learning curve for everything because I didn't know nothing about Zelle before. So thanks for going live too. I was depressed about that thing. Let's talk about the combine too. Okay, cool. Yeah, we're gonna touch on it. Hey, JC, once you drop it, go ahead and let me know. I'm sure I'll be over there to check it out. Good content, by the way, my guy. Good content. So yeah, let's take a look. Matter of fact, I'm finna see if I can find the combine results while we're sitting here talking. Or you know what? I think they're still doing it live. So let me pull it up. A lot of players from those two schools. All right. So Rakim Jarrett is going to run his second 40. His second 40. He ran a 4.45 on the first one. So let's take a look. And this is a wide receiver from Maryland. And that was decent speed. All right, he's off, and it's a worse 40 time than the first one. His first 40 time was a 4.45. His second attempt was a 4.55. Right now, the wide receiver with the fastest 40 time out there is Mr. Davis from TCU. He ran an unofficial 4.37. All right, let's take a look at Darius Davis. All right, so he's probably somebody that needed to run a fast 40 time. He's only 5'10", so they don't really. Some places got him listed as 5'9", so he's not a very tall wide receiver. When guys are not that tall, a lot of times they want you to be very very elusive and fast, and he met that mark. He met that mark doing that. All right, so matter of fact, let's take a look at some of Darius Davis numbers. Because I'm not a combine guy, but if he got good production, then we can talk about it. I know he was not the number one receiver at TCU. That was Mr. Johnston. That would have been the number one receiver at TCU. But let's take a look at his numbers. Average. He had pretty average production, right? Because he had 30 this year. He had 42 catches, 531 yards, 5 touchdowns. He had a long of 80. He had 3 rushing attempts for 30 yards and a rushing touchdown. Eh, not very impressive numbers. I have not looked at his tape, so maybe he's more impressive on the tape. But the 40 time does not move me. 40 time does not move me at all. So yes. Hold up. This is my boy right here. Hey, Joshua Fisher, what's up with you, man? What's good with you? I appreciate you tapping in with me. So yeah. So like some of these guys who aren't big name wide receivers, who don't have good film, who don't have great production, like those are the guys that can make themselves some money. Like Darius Davis, he was living in the shadow of a wide receiver that's going to be a top draft pick. Odds are his teammate Johnston is going to be a top 10 pick. So guys like that, right? Guys like that, you know, they need good 40 times and good combine so people can give them a look at later rounds. Let's see. This franchise has never fully embraced Dak, which is why the media is always questioning him. How you look into Dak, but every time everything is his fault. Make that make sense. Stop experimenting through your jobs. Yep, that's a very 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 valid point. Like, listen, the franchise did everything they could to blunder the quarterback situation for the next 10 years because they tried and failed to trade up and get Paxton Lynch, who never amounted to anything in the NFL. Not to disrespect him as a man, but as a player, he did not perform. Then they tried and go and get Connor Cook right after that, another guy who had no success in the NFL. So the guys they actually wanted and did not look into, right, did not pan out. But thank Father God in heaven that Dak Prescott was there in the fourth round. They took him. They were able to get him. He turned out to be a Pro Bowl caliber quarterback. Right, he has not had a losing record since he came into the league. Has set several franchise records, despite the dysfunction of the front office. Right, despite all of that. So Dak Prescott does not get the flowers he deserves because Dak Prescott is a hell of a player, and the Dallas Cowboys could have been in a far worse situation. Hey, shout out to Miss Charlene Evans for subscribing to JC Cowboys Network. We appreciate the support in the community, Miss Charlene. Okay. But yeah, but I don't really like watching the combine because a lot of these guys are losing themselves money right now, losing money. And look, it shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter how a guy running shorts because when you watch the game tape, these guys are running or actually running past guys. They're accelerating well. They're running routes well. They're getting open. Like what you do, in shorts should not discredit the things that you were able to do in pads. They took away Dez. We struggled trade for Amari. We did well. Took away Amari and said struggled. But Dak don't make players around him better. Yeah, that's a dumb narrative because Bryce Butler had career stats for Dak Prescott. He got and listen, Bryce Butler had career stats for Dak Prescott. Cole Beasley's best career as a Dallas Cowboy uh, was with Dak Prescott. When you look at guys like Amari Cooper's best season of production was playing with Dak Prescott, right? Who else can we bring up to dispel this narrative? He got Dalton Schultz paid. He got Randall Cobb paid after Randall Cobb had several down seasons. So this narrative that Dak Prescott does not make players around him better is a flat out lie. It's just like Dak Prescott can't make every Joe Schmo a Pro Bowl caliber wide receiver. Right? There's limitations. Noah Brown had the best year of his career with Dak Prescott, and Noah Brown, as we all know, is just a rotational wide receiver, a special teamer, right? But he played above his means with Dak Prescott. He did. So this notion that Dak Prescott cannot elevate the players around him is unfounded. Like the only knock on Dak Prescott that anybody can legitimately say is that he has not won consistently in the playoffs, and that is more of a team building thing, right? Because in 2016, his first playoff game, he played well. He played well enough to win that game. Threw 3 touchdowns, threw for over 300 yards, right? Put up 31 points, but the defense gave up what? They gave up 34 against Aaron Rodgers, who diced them most of the night. 2018, Dak Prescott played well enough to win that game. He had 2 total touchdowns, 1 rushing, 1 passing, no turnovers. But the defense gave up almost 300 yards rushing, and that's why we lost that game. Like the only 2 playoff games where Dak Prescott struggled was against the San Francisco 49ers, and every quarterback struggles against the San Francisco 49ers in the postseason. Even Matthew Stafford and them, right, did not play a good game against them. They end up winning the game, but Stafford did not look good. They end up winning the game, but Jalen Hurts did not look good against that defense, right? So even the guys that end up beating them do not look good. Hey, shout out to Auntie Charlene for the $50 donation. I appreciate you for the love and the support, Miss Charlene. You keep us going over here. Thank you so much. So let's see. They're finna do some other drills now, and these are the type of drills they finna do that actually matter, right? These are actual catching drills. These are showing how guys accelerate out of breaks, catching the ball on the move, things like that. Actual wide receiver drills, right? Because people get so caught up on these 40 times when you never actually run 40 yards that often in a football game. A lot of times these guys don't even get up to their maximum speed. Matter of fact, I have a good question. I wonder what Emmanuel Mosley ran in his 40 time. Right, there were a lot of people that were. I mean, Emmanuel Forbes. There were a lot of people down on him by his long speed. Now, see, hey, I think Emmanuel Forbes actually made himself some money, right? Now, this is one of the few times that the combine can act, work in your favor, because there was like an asterisk by Emmanuel Forbes in regard to his long speed, right? But he actually ran an official 4.35 at the combine, right? So when you have good combine numbers, like it should not actually affect your drafting stock, but it does. But when you have good combine numbers, it can give you a boost. Like he was somebody. Hey, what up with it, Lamont? I appreciate you tapping in with me. Hey, JC, Auntie Charlene asked if you had Cash App. Please provide Auntie Charlene with your Cash App, kinfolk. There you go. Hey, Lamont, I appreciate you for tapping in with me, brother. You know, we're just up here talking about how crazy the combine is. We started off with the comments about that Jerry Jones made, but you know, we all know that he was tripping, right? For anybody that's late, because I'm gonna rehash this one. I'm gonna rehash this, right? I'm gonna rehash this. For anybody that's late to the party, I'm finna read you the list of players that the Dallas Cowboys drafted. I mean, not drafted. The list of the guys that the Dallas Cowboys went and got in free agency from 2016 to 2022. Right, so that's a 7 year sample size. That is a 7 year sample size of the incompetence of the front office and roster building. I've been telling people Hyatt was not a 4-3 guy, and check the film out on Hyatt against South Carolina. That was two top uh, cornerback, 5 catches, 55 yards, no touchdowns. Mm. Yeah, he definitely did not run a 4-3 like most people were expecting. Oh, excuse me. And I do believe that hurt his draft stock. It should not have. Yes, you will. Hey, let me know when you're trying to do something. JC Cowboys Network. It'll be an honor and a pleasure, my guy. Yes, sir. It'll be an honor and a pleasure, brother. But yes, like he did not have the combine that people thought. Neither did Jordan Addison, right? You know, most of the time when you're not a 6 foot tall wide receiver, they want you to run at least a 4.4. He ran a 4.55 on his first attempt around. Now, let me see if what he ran. Okay, he had a better second attempt. Jordan Addison ran a 4.49 on his second attempt. But you know what? Like, he's an explosive player regardless, right? If you're explosive in and out the break, that's really what matters. You know, I hope that they don't. As a matter of fact, I do. I hope that people, you know, put too much salt into put too much stock into his 40 time and he falls to 26. Because Jordan Addison with CeeDee Lamb would not be fair. Like Jordan Addison is that kind of wide receiver to me. And we would be damn lucky as Dallas Cowboys to have him, you know, on the team. Already, just let me know, man. And I got the same. Hit me up on Twitter. You can DM me on Twitter if you need to contact me, kinfolk. Yeah, but I don't know. I need to go through the list, of these 40 times just to see what they did though. I am curious, right? I am curious because it does show the kind of preparation they put in for the 40, depending on but you really can't even say that because some of these guys could have improved their speed. Like the best they could have did is probably a 4 or 5, right? Because not everybody is burners. Do. But yeah, Coach Mar. So, Coach Mar, right, with your expert opinion, right? Because I know you pay a lot of attention to this draft stuff. Who would you let me know something? We'll work something out, Coach. Let me know something. Now, who do you prefer wide receiver in this NFL draft? Which one of these wide receivers or do you think is NFL ready from day one? Like, not even who down the line would be, the better receiver. Like day one, instant production, can instantly be a wide receiver 2 in the NFL. Who do you think fits that bill in this current draft and go? And matter of fact, anybody that actually been watching Tavis Banks, I know you put a lot of work in with film study and stuff like that. I would love to hear your opinion on it. JC Cowboys Network, since you're rocking with me in here, I know you do a lot of film breakdowns. Wide receiver from TCU and BC. Okay, so you talk about Johnston and the boy from Boston College, Zay Flowers. All right, I definitely like both those guys. I definitely like both those guys. I like Zay Flowers a little bit more, right? Like Johnston has the size and all this other stuff, but I don't know. I don't know about Kinfolk. Right? It's not. I don't personally think it's anything on him. It's just when I watched him play Georgia, he was neutralized, and I know a big part of that was due to Duggan being horrible that game. But like big time competition, I be wanting these guys to show up. He said he want Addison or JSN on the Dallas Cowboys too. Okay. Now see, I'm very big. He said both are great run after catch. Yes, they are. Just from some of the highlights I've seen, I haven't did any deep film breakdowns on any one of these wide receivers, not just yet. Right? I actually been more focused on these on free agency, right? Because I'm a guy. You remember in school, right? They had orders of operation. PIM this, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, right? Because it was like parentheses, exponent, right? Multiplication, all that stuff. You got to do things in the order they supposed to happen. And because of that, free agency actually starts and goes on before the draft does. So I've been spending a lot of time looking at guys that fit the free agency bill. Matter of fact, man, we're going to do a show called Shopping at Ross, right? And this is going to be analyzing cheaper free agents because we know the calling card of the Dallas Cowboys front office, but there's a way to make stupid smart. So we're gonna analyze the cheap free agents that can actually come in and produce for the Dallas Cowboys, right? We're gonna analyze all the guys who might be on the back end of their careers or who don't have the big names who are very productive players in the NFL that are free agents, and we're gonna analyze those guys and tell you how they fit into our scheme, what to expect from them, and why it would make sense for us to go out there and get those players. So we're working on that show. We're actually in the process of building that show. It may not be this weekend, but this show will definitely be coming to y'all fairly soon. So that is the show we're working on, Shopping at Ross. We also have a show that we're developing, for draft content. Because we are going to have to jump into it, but we're going to have it with a twist. We're going to analyze the players from the college teams that we watch. So I'm an Arkansas Razorback fan. I'm going to analyze some of the players from there that are draft eligible, see if they fit the Dallas Cowboys. Landlord being from Alabama, he is a Crimson Tide fan. And we're gonna analyze some of those players as well. So those are two shows we're working on. That's what's coming up next. So just stay tuned. I'll drop a notification about all that. All right. So let's take a look. If we get a free agent wide receiver, no need to draft a wide receiver before the fifth round. Yeah. And listen, like ever since Landlord made this comment, like I want this to happen now. I want the Dallas Cowboys to trade for Jerry Judy. I want the Dallas Cowboys to trade for Jerry Judy because it makes so much sense, right? He would still have 2 years under contract. He'll have his final season, right? He'll have the final season of his final year of his contract. Then he'll have the fifth year option that you can pick up. And plus, he's already proven to be a more productive wide receiver than Michael Gallup had these past 3 seasons. The past 3 seasons, he's been a better wide receiver than Michael Gallup has. And that's just the cold, hard truth about it. I know a lot of people love Michael Gallup. I love Michael Gallup too. But it's simply the fact that Michael Gallup has not consistently been healthy, right? He has not been healthy, and he has not lived up to the contract that the Dallas Cowboys have given him. So I would definitely go out. I would go out my way and get Jerry Judy at this point. I wasn't too sure about it at first, right? Because I know of his production, I know of his name, but I didn't think that it would be possible. But like there's some rumors that he might still be on the way out, right? They have other wide receivers that have been more productive than him, like Courtland Sutton. Courtland Sutton has been more productive than he has. They still have Tim Patrick over there, so like they don't necessarily need him. So and listen, I would give up our second round pick for him, right? Because we have not really hit on our second round picks in the last couple of years. Yeah, so we have not really hit on our second round picks because look at Boss Man Fat did not turn out. Tristan Hill is no longer on the team, right? So our second round picks have not panned out really. So I wouldn't mind giving up our second round pick to get Jared Judy. Right. If push came to shove, I would make that move. Mm-hmm. So yeah, man. Let's see. I'm from Iowa. I watch Iowa football too. Okay, so hey, since you watch Iowa football, uh, is there a player from Iowa that you would want us to draft? What's their name? What's their position? And I'll pull them up real quick, Matt. What's their name and position? I'll pull them up. With the people in the building used correctly at wide receiver, we can win a Super Bowl. I would hope so, man. Right? Because hey, Johnny Herrera, what's up with you? I appreciate you tapping in with me. And yes, Jerry Jones does need a muzzle. Like he does not be talking about nothing half the time. He definitely needs a muzzle because he be running out. Man, he talk too damn much. Because listen, it's not. And first of all, it's not true. But even if it was true, why would you open your mouth and tell the entire world you do not know how to manage a roster? Right. That's basically what you're addressing. Because even if Dak Prescott's cap hit, you know, was an albatross, which it really won't be if you actually get the extension done like you're supposed to. Right? Why would you open your mouth and say that when there's other quarterbacks that are making more money that have better weapons? He says a few linebacker from Iowa, Jack Campbell. I've heard about Jack Campbell, and he said there's a boy named Luke Van Ness. He's a good linebacker slash defensive end. Yeah, Jerry told on himself. Keystone, he told on himself because listen, last time I checked, Matthew Stafford was tied with Dak Prescott. Right, they both make $40 million a year. Right, but that did not stop them from going out and giving Cooper Kupp an extension. That did not stop them from going out and trading for and picking up Odell Beckham. It did not stop them from bringing in Allen Robinson once Odell Beckham left. Right, I know Allen Robinson didn't work out, but still, right, that didn't stop them from signing Bobby Wagner. It didn't stop them from giving an extension to what's the cornerback name? Oh, Jalen Ramsey, right? So all these other teams with similarly paid quarterbacks are getting the job done, right? Last time I checked, Kyler Murray, right? Kyler Murray make $46 million a year, right? They didn't have to go and cut DeAndre Hopkins. Now DeAndre Hopkins on the trading block now, right? He's on the trading block now, but they didn't stop. They didn't immediately go out there and get rid of DeAndre Hopkins, and they still got a good roster of wide receivers. Matter of fact, let me look at Arizona's roster, right? Let's look at their roster. So yeah, they had Hollywood Brown, they had DeAndre Hopkins. They went out and got Rondell Moore in the draft. Then they made a move and they went and got they got Ertz the tight end, right? So all these other teams are putting together very good rosters despite of the cap hits of their quarterbacks. I am definitely a fan of DJ Chark. I think he has the measurables, right? I just think some people are a little down on him because of his injury history. But as I always talk about, the Dallas Cowboys having an award-winning medical staff. So I think they can mitigate some of the risks of bringing in guys like that. Because we have the best medical staff in the NFL in the NFL, right? Dallas is one of the more advanced places in the country when it comes to sports medicine and science. So I would definitely go out my way and sign DJ Shark. And yeah, matter of fact, let me pull up Jack Campbell. Like I told you, I would do that since you mentioned his name. Oops. Nope. NFL draft. I'm sorry. I tried to Google him and then the hockey player came up, so I had to do it again. All right, so let's take a look at him. And hey, look, man, like, hey, his measurables look pretty good. They got him listed as 6'5", 243 pounds. It looks like he had 56 tackles. He had a sack. He had 2 interceptions. Had a forced fumble last year. Let's see. They say he has intangibles and leadership skills, which you would like in a middle linebacker position. He has great processing ability, which you also need to be a good middle linebacker. They say he has size and physicality. Okay. They have questions about his range and different things like that. Right. But he had a great combine. He had a great combine. So let's just take a look at his combine results, right? He ran a 4.65, and that's good. And listen, for his size, right? Because he's only going to have to worry about running with tight ends. That's perfectly fine, right? That's more than fine for his size. This is a man that's 6'5" and 200 and about almost 250 pounds. Has an arm length of uh, 31 and a 7/8 inches. Hand size is over 10 inches. Right, let's see. So yeah, like he had a good combine. Good combine. Had a good combine. He has, from what I see, he has good film, decent numbers as a college player. So yeah, I will get him. All right. Oh yeah, I'm just talking about like weapons. Yeah, they don't have a good offensive line or anything, but they did go out and get some wide receivers. And hell, we can't really say that our wide receiving core is any better. He said, check out Antone Green, wide receiver, UNC, and Jacob Copeland, wide receiver from Maryland, when you can. Matter of fact, I'm gonna do that in just a second, Kinfolk. I'm gonna do that in just a second since y'all brought them up. Y'all give me names, I'll pull them up, right? Because listen, us as guys that follow college football, we will know more about our team than anybody else, right? I don't think there's anybody in America outside of Razorback football fan to watch all the games this season. Outside of scouts, right? Outside of scouts and the fan base, ain't nobody watch all the Razorback games this season, right? Just like I'm pretty sure outside of the scouts and the fans, not everybody watched Iowa football through the entire season. Not everybody watched Maryland football through the entire season. So, like us as fans, like we know what we're talking about when it comes to the guys that we watch all the time. So, drop them names, and I will definitely do my due diligence on it. So, yeah, matter of fact, I'm gonna pull your guy up next since we're on that topic, info. Since we're talking about it, I'm gonna pull him up. All right, so I'm gonna start out with Antone Green, wide receiver from UNC. All right, so let's take a look at him next. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna check back in on the combine too. Check back in on the combine, see they if what kind of drills they running now. All right, it's on commercial. All right, you said the boy name was Antone Green. Let's pull him up. Oops, that's my bad. Antone Green, NFL draft. Boom. All right, this is from Draft Buzz. So let's take a look at him. All right, listed at 6'2", 201 pounds. All right, 4.48 speed. Let's see. All right, this is his scouting report. So I'm gonna read that, and then I'm gonna see if I can find his actual combine numbers. Right, does not have exceptional straight line speed, but takes advantage of open seams when his quarterback is on target. Green has strong hands and is extremely competitive. And Green has an innate sense of timing when it comes to elevating and high pointing balls. He combines good speed with his size and accelerates off the line, better than most big receivers. His broad shouldered, long limbed, and smooth athlete who showed, hold up, I act like I can't read today, who showed the ability to make plays downfield, has a knack for getting open, and is a quarterback best friend. Passers just need to toss the ball in his area and he'll come down with it. Right? So that's phenomenal. Green tracks the ball well downfield and consistently runs under long throws. Sweet. All right. Does not always use his hands to secure deep throws, allowing the ball into his pads and chest. These are weaknesses, by the way, that I just started on right here. He'll be coming to the NFL from a wide open spread offense in which Green ran a limited route tree. His ability to track the ball is good enough, but he too often let the ball get into his body downfield rather than snatching it with his hands. So he does not have that many big, negatives on his scouting report. He has good size, he has good speed, right? So let's check his numbers out, right? Because right now he projected to be an undrafted free agent. I do not know if the combine will help him out, but let's take a look. Let's take a look at his actual numbers, right? I care more about production than I care about anything else. So let's look at his numbers, right? And for those who are just now coming in, this is Antone Green we're looking at. Right. And he had a pretty damn good season this year though, right? So he's been in the college system for a long time. Came in 2018. Right. Okay. This year he had 43 catches, 798 yards, 18.6 yards a catch, 7 touchdowns, and his longest play from scrimmage was 80 yards. which is great. So that's pretty solid production, right? It is very very solid production. So let's take a look, see if I can get his official numbers. Yeah, a lot of us ain't gonna hear some of these guys. Just because there's so many different college teams, so many players on that college team. We're gonna be remiss to act like we know all these different players. That's why we have the internet. That's why we have you know different content creators that follow these teams, keep up with these players. That's why we have the all 22 film, so we can get accustomed to them. So let's take a look. Let's take a look at his combine results. All right. Okay, so he did officially run a 4.48, which is not bad. All right. Ran the 10-yard split at 1.54 seconds. Had a 33.5 vertical jump, which is not bad. He's already 6'2". A 10-foot broad jump. So he did pretty decent at the combine. Yeah, and listen, Max Duggan is a guy that's probably gonna go very, very, very low in the draft. If you sign Jerry Judy now and you pay out the 17 million, sure, I do it. I do it. Listen, I did not want us to sign Michael Gallup. He was not a better wide receiver than CD Lamb was. He's not a better wide receiver than Amari Cooper is, right? And he ended the season injured, right? He ended the season injured. So I would have much rather preferred us, you know, uh, just keeping Amari Cooper and letting Michael Gallup walk. Like you gave a man all that money who was not even ready to play. Jerry Homegrown Jones. Yeah, Jerry Jones like homegrown players, unfortunately. But no, the way that he been team building has not been leading to production. It has not been leading to production at all. All right, so let's see. So we covered Antone Green. Like he's projected to go undrafted. So that's somebody that would be there. If we're just looking at guys based on their production and potential, then I would take a fly on him. If he's really gonna be that far down, right? If he's gonna be an undrafted free agent, bring him in. If he's gonna be somebody you can get in the 7th or the 6th round, bring him in. So yeah, I'm cool with that. We do put a lot of pressure on young receivers. Right. That's why I would love for us to bring in somebody like a Jerry Judy. I would love for us to bring in somebody like DeAndre Hopkins. Like all these veteran wide receivers that's on the trading block, right? They still have good production. Bring them in. You lose nothing because you're really not using the salary cap space anyway. You're not using the salary cap space. So yeah, I think we get good players that improve to pretty good, and we pay them like they're great. There's no red left to reinforce areas like the D line or the wide receiver room. Well, this is the thing. The way that the contracts are structured, right? It don't really be the contracts. Not no like 80% of the time. The issue usually be right like they're just not wanting to sign guys, right? Because think about this. When Dak Prescott was making $500,000 to get the salary cap, $600,000 get the salary cap, $800,000 gets the salary cap, only $2 million get the salary cap. Like over his cap hits his first 4 years, they brought in nobody. Like the best move they made was a trade for Amari Cooper. You could argue how you know the Randall Cobb trade. I mean, signing Randall Cobb worked out, but Randall Cobb was not looked at as like a top wide receiver anymore because of injury history, right? So they have not really, even when there was plenty of money, even when even when they had all the money in the world, they weren't going out here and signing guys. You know, if it was a thing where the quarterback or one wide receiver was taking up a majority of the cap space, like every other year or something, then I would understand that. But like Dak Prescott has only cost the Dallas Cowboys over $20 million against the cap one time, and that was the year where they forced him to play on a franchise tag. Right, all these other cap hits. Year one was 500,000. Year two, 600. Year three, 800,000. Year four was 2 million. Then he got hit with the franchise tag for 30 plus $1 million. Then when he actually got an extension, the first year on that deal was only $17 million. The next year on that deal was $19 million. Right. So this is gonna be the first time this year where there's a big money cap hit from Dak Prescott, and they don't even have to do that. They can just give him an extension to avoid giving him that kind of money up front. So like, there's always a way around the salary cap, and we got to listen. We always put the expectation on our players to perform, right? We always put the expectation on our players to go out here and perform regardless. I need the same expectation put on the front office, right? There's other front offices. Matter of fact, there's a well-ran front office in our own division in the Philadelphia Eagles. They have an amazing front office, right? I hate the franchise, I hate the fans, but they have an amazing front office. Howard Roseman be getting them players. He be getting the contracts done. They be outside of the fiasco with Jalen Rager. They draft pretty well. So there's no way that we can let the front office off the hook for the way that they manage the roster, because there's other teams who also have star players, and they find a way to not only pay their stars, they also find a way to bring in more stars, right? Because we were looking at the Los Angeles Rams like they were an all Madden team. We were up here looking at look at the Bucks. Bucks didn't care about no rookies. There are no salary cap. They went and signed Tom Brady. They went and got Rob Gronkowski. They took a flyer on Antonio Brown, regardless of if he was a head case or not. Right? Then Mike Evans was already making good money. Right? Good Godwin was already making pretty decent money. So that is what it is. And then of course, they had pretty good players on the defense that were making money. So yeah, with that said, there's too many instances of other teams and other franchises being better at this than our guys. So we can't always put the onus on the players when the front office is failing them. Front office has failed them numerous times at this point. So yes, both can be true. Yeah, tagging Tony Pollard doesn't make sense. Like, there's no reason to tag any of these guys. JJ is always instigating shit between the players and the fans. Of course he does, because listen, it gets him clicks on his websites. It keeps the Dallas Cowboys name circulating in the news, in the news cycle. So he does not actually care about causing discord. There's no such thing as bad publicity for the Dallas Cowboys, right? Even when he was going through the situation with him back in the day, being in the picture with the Little Rock Nine, right? All that foolishness. I don't even think he was too upset about that because it was still publicity, right? And he just wrote it off as being young and curious, which he might have been. I wasn't there, right? That was way before I was born. But the point being, like, Jerry Jones does not see, like, he does not believe in bad publicity. He rock with whatever keep his name in the press. He's an attention whore. Johnny Herrera, you can get a wrench because you asked. There is no qualifications. You always come in. I just ask that every time that I go live that you please like, share, subscribe to the content. I mean, I know you already subscribe, but just like and share the content whenever I go live. Share it to a couple Facebook groups, stuff like that. But welcome to the Wrench Game, Johnny Herrera. Do, do, do. But yeah, but let's take a look. I think the quarterbacks are working out right now. I'm actually curious to see some of the 40 times on the quarterbacks, right? Not that it actually matters in the grand scheme of things, right? Because that actually doesn't matter unless they're a dual threat quarterback. But it's fun. It's fun. It's fun to watch. And the NFL has moved. Oh shoot. Okay, so the Dallas Cowboys have made a move. I did not see this coming. This is not breaking news because it's 40 minutes old. They are placing a second round tender on restricted free agent Terrence Steele. A person familiar with the decision said he's ahead of schedule for his ACL surgery. Right, so if any team wants to sign Terrence Steele, they will have to give up a second round pick to the Dallas Cowboys at this point. You talking about Cunningham from Louisville? I like him. I think he would be. Oh, they already ran the 40s. Dang, I missed it. I missed that. I should have known 40s came first before the throwing drills. But yeah, I like Cunningham as a prospect because honestly, any quarterback that we draft, he said, "How can we get him to?" Well, I was looking like I don't know if the Dallas Cowboys were scouting tackles, right? But I was looking at a couple tackles myself in terms of free agency. Dang. Well, Duggan ran a 4.57. That might have got him some love. Well, he's definitely faster than our quarterback. He is definitely faster than our quarterback is. Mm-hmm. But hey, guys, I have. Hold on. What do you say? Oh, he said, well, "Nah, kinfolk. Nah, married with kids, and my kids have kids." But yo, speaking of married, my wife just called. I'm finna take this call. I will be back on a little bit later on tonight. Probably be back on with landlord and West Coast. So hey, I appreciate y'all for the love and support. I just wanted to go live and give y'all some content. I will be live later on today. So y'all be blessed. I appreciate y'all for continuing rocking with your boy, and I will see y'all soon. Peace. Oh, hold that thought. Hey, let me give a shout out to DC for Life X for the $5 donation. I be wanting to call you what I see you buy on Cash App, but I know it's you, my boy. So thank you. But hey, I appreciate you for the buzzer beater. I'm gonna get on down. I will be back a little bit.